welcome to another BlackJack Day video and moving forward your journey to being a better BlackJack player and AP player. I am BlackJack Dave. I love to play BlackJack, talking about BlackJack and sharing the correct way to play BlackJack with others. Conclusion 1. When the remaining undealt cards are richer in large cards, you are more likely to be dealt a BlackJack. Now you might be saying, so is a dealer, Dave, but unlike the dealer, as a player, we get paid 3 to 2. So, so this is reason one why a 10 ace rich deck favors the player. Reason number two, when you double down, you are usually hoping to get a large card. When we double down on that hard 9, 10, and 11 per basic strategy, we are hoping to draw a large card to give us a strong pat hand. Furthermore, most doubles occur when the dealer has a weak up card. Therefore, you are more likely to make a pat hand, and the dealer is more likely to bust with a weak up card when the unplayed cards are richer in large cards. Hence, second reason why a 10 ace rich deck favors the player. Reason 3. An abundance of large cards favors pair splitting. Much like doubling, many pair splits will be favorable to the player when the unplayed cards are 10 ace rich. Especially true when splitting aces, sevens, eights, and nines. Third reason why 10 ace rich deck favors the player. Insurance. We've learned in previous videos to always say no to insurance. And the basic player should always say no to insurance. But the advantage player, when the cards are rich in 10 and aces, the dealer is more likely to have a 10. So you should take insurance. The magic question is, when are the cards rich enough in 10s to take insurance? You'll learn about that shortly in future videos, but it's called the true count, and it's the fourth reason why a 10 ace rich deck favors the player. You ever at the table and the dealer draws to 15 or 16, and it seems like the dealer always draws a 3 or 4 and doesn't bust? Well, it always seems like that, but it might be occurring, or it will occur more often, when the deck is not rich in 10 ace cards. However, when the deck is rich in 10 ace cards, and the dealer draws a 12 or a 15 or a 14 and flip over that third card, he's more likely to bust. So that's the fourth reason why a 10 ace rich deck favors the player. All right, so now you know that when the deck is rich in high cards, it's better for you, the player. And when the deck has mostly or more has more smaller cards, it's favorable for the dealer since the dealer is less likely to bust. But what do you do with that information? Obviously, you now know that you're going to win on your doubles, or you're going to win more on your splits, or you have a higher percentage of winning. But how does that turn to your advantage? You bet small when the count or when there's less high cards, and you bet more when the deck is favorable in large cards. That is your betting strategy. What we learn in future videos is what to bet and how to know when the count is more favorable than other times. So the more favorable the count, remember that word I used before, the true count? When the true count is higher, you bet more. So when the true count is only a 1, you might only bet a little more than minimum bet. But when the true count is 5 or 6, you're probably going to bet 6 times your minimum bet. And of course, when the true count's negative, the table minimum. Now, if you don't know what true count is, that's okay. How to figure it out, that's okay. We're going to start learning that in future videos. Remember this chart? It was in the previous video before this one, and it shows the effects of when a card is removed. For example, remove a 4, and it's a 0.56 advantage to the player. Remove an ace, and it's a negative 0.59 to the player. Take a look at this, and notice the important cards are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They make the most positive change for the player. 9, 10, and ace are the cards that make the most negative change for the player. And 7, 8, 9 really don't do anything. So, we're going to use that to keep track of the high and low cards. So we're going to keep track of the 2, 3, 4, and 5s and 6s. And then keep track of ace and 10 cards and ignore 7, 8, and 9. How do we do that? Well, let's find out. Well, the way we keep track of the cards is to assign each card a tag. Either a tag of +1, a -1, or a 0. A tag of +1 to every 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 ranked card. To reflect the fact the removal of any of these cards will have a positive effect. Likewise, the 10s and aces group, large cards, are assigned a tag of -1 because the removal from the decks is harmful to the player. And since removal of the 7, 8, 9 has a much lesser effect on a player's expectation, they will be assigned a tag of 0, meaning we will just ignore them. Let's see this in action. Let's say the example above. Let's assume a player is dealt a 6 and a 4 and is then given a 10. Well, the 6 would be assigned a +1 value. So now the sum is +1. Then we look at the 4. We assign that a tag of +1. Now our sum, or what we will call a running count from now on, is now +2, or just 2. Then we added 10, and that's a -1. Now, -1 is awfully hard to say speaking and in your head. So most card counters will either say M1 or D1. I prefer D1. So now the running count is +1. So in our head, we would say something like 1, 2, 1. Keep the running count in our head. Learning theory, and let's do some practice drills. We're going to start off some really, really basic drills. And the most important part here is accuracy. Speed will come. So accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. You know how fast you can count. If you have the wrong count, it's disastrous. So accuracy is very important. So you're going to have to invest in some playing cards. I would suggest buying 8 decks. Cost you maybe $20. Well worth investments. All right, so first drill is to turn them over like you see. The 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 up here. 7, 8, 9 here. And then 10 cards down here. And all you're going to do is go through and say what their value is. +1, +1, +1, +1, +1, or 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 0, 0, 0. -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, or D1, 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 D1. Some people, instead of using D, they use what did I say? Or M, M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. I personally like D. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. D1, 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 0, 0, 0. Do that maybe 10 times. Sounds basic, but you got to be able to recognize the numeric value and automatically, without even thinking about it, put a 1, a D1, or 0 assigned to it. 2. Click these cards. And then flip them over. D1, 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 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Do that maybe 5 times. Shuffle them up. All right. Let's see how well they're mixed. You can probably guess what you're going to do now. 1, D1, 1, D1, D1, 0, D1, 1, 1, 1, 0, D1, 0. Do that 10 times. Then for the fourth drill, D1, D1, 0, D1, 0, D1, 0, D1, D2, D1, 0, 0. See what I did? I actually kept the count. So here we were at D1. D1, this card is not, this card's nothing, so still at D1. Coming in here, D1 plus a 1, that's 0. Now we're at D1 plus a 1, now we're at the sum of 0. D1, 0. Back to D1. D2, because we're at minus 2. D2, because 9 is a 0. D1, because that's a plus 1. D1 plus a plus 1 is a 0. And of course, that's a 0. So you should always get to 0 when you do that. Those are your practice drills for card counting until next week. Also, don't forget about basic strategy. We'll spend the next video, I believe, just on doing basic strategy together using software and some more card counting. So, no new material. Next week's video, we're just going to review basic strategy. Practice, practice, practice. All right. Well, as always, thanks for watching the video. And may many blackjacks be in your future.